I'm inside of a closet at an apartment complex where I'm going to be removing bees from this ceiling right above me. This is almost exactly the same removal I did a couple years ago at the same complex, different apartment. And I hope this is going to be fairly straightforward. In that cutout, I expected a small colony, and when I opened the ceiling, it was a really big job. I don't know how long these bees have been here, but I do see a very clear heat signature right up there in the corner. Now, when I did that previous cutout, I saw a small heat signature, and it turned out there was a lot of comb. So I'm going to stick a scope up in the ceiling to see how much comb I can see in there, to kind of know what I'm looking at, what I'm getting into before I open everything up, and also to see how much I have to open up. I don't see bees coming out of that hole, so they must not have a real big population in there. A little bit just to the left there, a little bit of comb above me. I actually just see that through the opening there. There I see quite a bit of comb in there. That is off in the corner where I saw the heat signature. Not a huge colony. It looks like they have a pretty good population. Oh yeah, pretty much ends right at that support, so that's not too bad. But that's some big comb up in there.
For this cutout, I was using my home-built bee vac, along with the auxiliary container that I recently built. If you want to see more about that container, I'll post a link to a video and you can check that out. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be at the end of the video. If you're watching this on Facebook, check out the description.
I put on my full jacket because I expected these bees to be pretty agitated once I got done cutting in there. They are really super calm. Get some light up in here. Let me see what I'm doing.
As I cut out the comb, I'm always looking for the queen. I prefer to work from both ends of the hive towards the middle, and the queen will usually move away from where I'm working. That way, as I get to the end, I have more of a likelihood of finding her on that comb in the middle, and she has less chance of running into back corners. In this case, I really had no choice but to work from the end closest to me towards the entrance. After I pull out sections of brood comb, I'm vacuuming some of the bees off just to avoid injuring them as I'm mounting this comb in the frame. I do want to leave some bees on here to take care of any young brood while I'm transporting this comb home, and so I can put it in a hive and combine the bees in the bee vac back with this comb. Because the frame is taller than this comb, it makes a little bit of a challenge with mounting it securely because there's nothing underneath to really support the comb. There are several ways to deal with this. A person could put some sort of divider in the frame to help support the comb. My friends at Be Mindful, who use top bar hives, recommend using a sort of hanger on the top bar to which the comb is attached. In this case, I'm making a sling using the rubber band. I twist the rubber band 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then wrap that middle section around the comb. That will actually help to support the comb for as long as the bees leave it in place. I did find that these bees in particular are very quick to remove the rubber bands. So I probably should have used more rubber bands than I thought I needed just to keep that comb in place. In the end, the bees attached the comb to the sides of the frame pretty well, as you'll see in a future video. Alright, got it in there. And it's upright, hopefully it'll stay.
A little agitated now. I fire up my smoker. We'll give them just a little bit of smoke just to cover up some of that alarm pheromone that they're certainly giving right now.
Let's see if I can get this next piece. It looks like it might be a fair piece of salvageable brood comb. Oh boy. Keep that. That's a little smaller than I thought, but that's okay.
At the end, I had not found the queen, so I just kept vacuuming out as many bees as I could from the cavity. Because I was working towards the entrance, there were several bees that got pushed out the entrance and were clustering on the outside of the building. I got on a ladder and searched there for the queen, but didn't find her. I think she may have gone into a space between a piece of plywood and the outer brick wall of the building. Although I worked to try to vacuum up as many bees as I could, and it's always my objective to capture and bring home a complete colony, including the queen, in the end, I also have the job of removing the bees and sealing up the cavity for the client. After working to vacuum out as many as I could, I finally ended up sealing up the entrance and that space that I mentioned with expanding foam, and called it a day. When I got home, I shook the catch bucket out in front of the swarm trap, which contained the comb that I had cut out. The bees went into the swarm trap, but they didn't have the purposeful march into the trap that you would expect to see if they had the queen, which made me even more certain that I did not catch the queen in this extraction. I'll show you how I resolved that queenless issue in a future video, and when I post it, it'll show up right here. Be sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss that future video. In the meantime, you can check out the video about my auxiliary bee vac container here, or you can watch a video that YouTube has selected especially for you right here. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.